What's up, guys? This is Ricky from Team Project Attraction. I'm here with my buddy Mehdi. Mehdi, say what's up.
What's up, guys?
And he is from Social Aptitude, and he's been putting out a lot of good content. You should check out his YouTube videos on approaching and just other concepts with dating and success. Success with women. And today we're going to talk about frequencies. And we kind of had this discussion yesterday when we want to collaborate. And his content's amazing. You guys should really check it out. He's gone out with a lot of other guys, and he has a lot of infill footage as well, getting makeouts and approaching. And this guy hustles. You can tell he's passionate about helping other guys become successful with women. And you see himself, he doesn't just talk about it, or he's not like some pickup nerd. He actually goes out and does it and keeps improving himself. And he's got a great, beautiful girlfriend right now, and he still continues to work on his skills. So I'm going to stop doing most of the talking, and I'm going to have you kind of take over. And why don't you tell us what we were talking about yesterday with like talking to women in different frequencies?
Yeah, so yesterday we had this very interesting conversation about frequencies, and to be more specific, it's emotional frequencies. And that means the kind of beliefs and the place you're coming from when you're dealing with women. And later on, we kept going to this concept of the childish alpha male. Mm-hmm. And I want to kind of give a little bit background where does the childish alpha male come from. So on my early learning on how to deal with women, I noticed that there are so many different styles, right? Like sometimes you hear guys saying you have to be a jerk, so you have to be impressive in that way and very dominant. And then maybe you do it and it doesn't feel so much like you. It feels like it's not really you, and the girls kind of get weirded out. And some other times you feel that you hear people say, well, you gotta be nice to the girls, right? Because you gotta treat them right, like human beings. Like you don't want anyone to treat you any worse, right?
Right.
And then there are the other type of people who say, well, you have to be very fun and you have to not be caring so much. And honestly, I can understand a lot of guys get confused and lost.
Yeah.
Especially in the beginning when you're trying to learn what kind of style matches. And these are, for me, the frequencies. These are types of frequencies. So you got the alpha male type of frequency. He's dominant. He goes for it. He's very... we like to picture him as James Bond, very subtle, very
strong and stoic, right?
Yeah, like this, very calm.
Correct.
And then you got the other frequencies, like the nice guy, and then you have the frequency of the fun guy who has a lot of friends and jumps around in the club, and he's always like, yeah, let's do this, and you're like, motherfucker, I don't feel always very happy like that. Right. I don't know how you do it. It's not me. I got depressed. I have my days. And then it hit me. It doesn't have to be one of these frequencies. It could be literally something that matches your personality. And I found out by trying them one by one that we could build a new frequency called the childish alpha male.
Yeah.
And
but
the
before you get in this concept, because this is your bread and butter, which I love, and I'm actually going to start trying it out myself. Where do you see guys fuck up with this? Where the basic guy who doesn't really work on himself, where does he fuck up, and what is his frequency that you maybe want to stay away from?
I think most of the guys, they are actually stuck in no frequency land. And what do I mean by that is that they know about these things. They know about the alpha male, they know about the nice guy, they know about the fun guy, but then they get stuck into which one do I go for, and then before they know it, they actually end up not taking any action at all.
Or I think even you talked about yesterday was just neutral. They're just kind of neutral, and it's it's they don't even show any personality. It's just very and so they're not really sparking any emotions.
It's a very doubtful frequency because they okay, should I go with this? But no, if I do this, maybe she's not gonna like it and lose all my chances. Then maybe I should go with the other one. And before you know it, the opportunity has passed by, and you find yourself just stuck in your head, like most people like to.
Right. So it's they almost fuck themselves over from playing it safe. Oh, I want to play it safe. I don't want any people to judge me. But by doing that, coming from that frame, you're actually fucking yourself up and not getting any results at all. And then you're like, why don't girls like me? And it's well, because you're not doing anything to stand out.
Exactly. You're not putting yourself in the water to begin with. And that comes from so much stuff you're thinking about, should I go this way or that way?
Right.
And then the problem when you want to be an alpha male, let's say you picture yourself as an alpha male, you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to play it like James Bond.
Right.
The problem with it is that it kind of looks appealing, okay? You're walking into a bar, you hold yourself like this. and you try to be very charismatic, very like dominant and calm, and you feel like it's not really you. And
Right.
the most annoying thing is you constantly checking out if girls are checking you out.
Right. You're like, is this working? Am I doing it
Yeah,
right?
is this working?
Mhm.
Right? And before you know it, you've lost the frequency.
Yeah.
You're again in the middle. You're again in the middle. Now the problem, even bigger problem with alpha male is whenever you find yourself in a situation where you have to be decisive. Let's say somebody would hit on your girlfriend, which would happen at some point. You're like, shit, do I have to live up to this picture of me being an alpha male? And what do I do? And I step up, or do I yell? Do I fight? Do I tell him to fuck off? And if I say fuck off, maybe I'm not the alpha male anymore. I'm actually insecure, right?
Yeah.
So each one has the downside. Then you move on to the nice guy, and the nice guy, you're like, okay, this is cool. I feel like a little more naturally gravitating towards being a nice guy. I am a nice guy. You know, I think everyone is, especially the people who are trying to better themselves with women.
Right.
And then the problem becomes with like not taking some risk, like not. And sometimes you gotta like say something to annoy the girl just because
Right.
you think it, you know. And then you start restricting yourself at the cost of you. Like you try to please the girl at the cost of you not expressing yourself, and then you start to feel hurt inside.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get the other fun guy who we refer to in the pickup and seduction community as the dancing monkey.
Right. Yeah.
He runs around and he gives that perfect image of being carefree, like a beautiful bird in the sky. But deep down you feel like shit because you're like, am I really the fun guy, or am I a slave of the fun guy? Because
You're a fun guy, but you're still going home alone, and you're like, all this fun was for nothing because I'm home alone in sadness, jerking off to my tears, you know. And you're like, what the fuck? At least that's my rendition. I was gonna ask you. So let's move ahead to your what was it? The playful alpha.
the childish alpha.
Childish alpha.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the childish alpha male is pretty much a concept that brings all the other togethers and makes it for you okay to fuck up, which is the lack of the alpha male. Because if you're an alpha male, you cannot usually allow yourself to fuck up.
Right, yeah.
And the child, you know, allows himself to fuck up. But what's the problem with the child? The child is not really alpha because he's not on his purpose that much. He's like a child, and sometimes girls can get attracted to you being a child and playing and having fun, but then deep down they're like, is this guy a man? Like, is he on is he on his purpose? Does it happen that he kind of has projects? Is he like a go-getter, you know? And that's where the alpha male balances the child.
Yeah.
And to be an alpha male in that case is to take care of your own needs.
Yeah, because I'm thinking in the night, like, you know, girls short term and then in the club, they just want fun. So that playfulness is fun, but good luck getting a call back, you know, if you don't seem like a clown. Like the next day, she's like, oh, that guy's not worth it. So like you said, the alpha balances it out as far as you do have a purpose and you do have a drive. And if you can combine the two, that's going to attract her in the short term, but keep her around for the long term to combine.
Exactly.
Awesome.
What's the problem? Everything has a downside. That's the problem.
Right, yeah.
And it has an upside. What's the problem with being alpha and being on your purpose? You might become a little too serious. Like imagine you're dating a girl and all your conversation is about, oh yeah, I hit a personal record at the gym today. Oh, my company has. Okay, oh, I gotta hustle at 8 a.m. tomorrow. I can have sex now. Okay, so that's the downside is that you're too serious. You're not human anymore. You lose the taste of being human. And the problem with it being a child is like having no project at all. You're just a fun guy. It's like borderline boring.
Yeah.
Too much fun becomes boring.
So let me ask you, what are some of the results you've gotten using this child alpha frame or frequency?
Okay. I'm going to give a quick background example just so people understand what kind of results I get out of this.
Okay.
And so my biggest problem was I used to be very serious, like that alpha male type of guy. I'm like, okay, I got to go get this thing done. And I felt like the girls would take me a little too seriously, you know. We might go on a first date, second date, but I felt like there was no fire. That's what I felt. I felt like, okay, we're a little physically attracted to each other, and she thinks I'm a nice person because I'm not threatening and I'm not that too crazy out there. But then there was something missing. And most importantly, every time she started to get bored out of it, the girl, and I can tell, you can tell when it's the beginning of the end, and shit is going down, and you start losing your mind, and all of a sudden you think about it too much. You lose even the alpha side of being serious because you're too much now insecure about it, and the girl just explodes. So one day I was asking myself, what am I to do? What am I to do in this? And I understood something. To fulfill that need, whatever you're trying to do in life, and most particularly with girls, you have two options. Number one, either you find a solution for it and you get your need done, or you reach a place where you are genuinely okay with not having that need. Like you lose the need, but it has to be genuine. And this is where I created. You see, like, it's being and not being. It's alpha male and childish, two contradictions.
Right.
So I started behaving differently with girls. Like, for example, if I date a girl, I go out on a date with her, I'll behave like a child, but I will also care in an alpha male type of style. And my whole frame, the whole time is, look, I care about you, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So, look, when you're with me, I really care. And even if you're not with me, I care with you as a person. You want to pick up the phone and call me at 3 a.m., tell me you cheated on me, it's fine. But here's the thing. I've taken what I said earlier, the need of making it work. So now, either ways, I'm okay. Why? Because the alpha male is always positive. Let's say my girlfriend cheats on me. I used to go crazy. I would be like, fuck, I'm done with this thing. I hate it. But now I'm like, no. Actually, if she cheats on me and she still likes me, because she calls me at 3 a.m., I can have her as a sex partner and a friend. But that's also the positive thing about her cheating on me is that, number one, I'll grow stronger by not giving a fuck even more. And number two, there are doors who would be closed if me and her are in a relationship. Like, I cannot talk to all the girls. I cannot practice my skills with dating. But now she opened one of these doors. So I still have both of the words, and that's the childish alpha male. So the childish alpha male is like always, let's go, let's have fun, let's not be serious, like fuck around, but I love you, I hug you, I'm here for you. It's like, ultimately, to put it in this way, is going away from negotiation and striving through appreciation. So what do I mean by that?
I like that.
We always try to negotiate the label. Like, most guys will be like, how do I get her to be my girlfriend? They don't say, how do I get her to connect with me and love me?
Right.
You see? It's just like our society is so materialistic, and we just want the title. And guys don't care. Even it's true, because most of the guys who are in a relationship, and the girls even don't know it, they don't love each other.
Yeah.
They think they love each other. But if you go out in a bar and you hit on girls, you'll see most of them will be receptive, because even if the ones have a boyfriend, they will allow themselves some space to flirt with you.
Right, yeah.
Even a little dangerously flirt with you, because deep down they don't find that childish thing in their boyfriend. They don't find that space where he communicates and express himself and push her and take her by the neck. And they're like, what's up, buddy? I'm going to put you on the ground. Why? Because the guy is always stuck in negotiation mode. Negotiation is like, what do I do to be the alpha male, to look like the alpha male, and not fuck up, and not like lose her?
Yeah, dude, that is deep. And I know we talked about this before, because we're both like dating coaches and we want to help other men, but we're both in relationships right now too.
Yeah, that's
and I was kind of mentioning to you about mine, like mine's an open relationship. And like you said, it's that what I've definitely tried, because I've had an open relationship in the past, but with this one, I learned to let go. And it's a lot about giving each other freedom. And even my girl, she talked about it. It's kind of like a bird being on a perch, and the bird is there. The bird can fly away at any time, but the bird can be free to look around and chill. But the fact that it has that freedom, it wants to stay on that perch. And it's a very subtle, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you're not in the right headspace, and jealousy does pop up. But what's really helped me is Osho. Osho really helped me. And even with my last relationship, I didn't quite understand. I was like, well, how can you love someone and hate someone at the same time? How can you have two paradoxical feelings, right? So there's a really good book, To Be in Love, and Osho describes love amazingly, and it kind of breaks down the confines of society. Society, it's very contractual, you know, it's to lock you into a business agreement with this person that you will love me forever. Well, that's not how love works. Love is an experience, and yeah, you can go into marriage and be like, we're going to work on this, but when love's over, sometimes it's just over, and sometimes it's not the right match, and you have to learn to let it go. And because it is that experience, it's like a flowing river. You know, you can guide the river and whatnot, but it always has to be flowing.
Exactly.
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say I really do like the example you're giving, the bird, and the bird's gonna fly out of the nest or whatever. But it's like guys will ask, well, how do I stay confident? How do I know the bird's gonna come back? And the answer is the faith. Is, you know, you have to have faith, and even more than faith, you have to see the positive in each situation, because there is a positive.
Right.
Is a positive. The worst thing that could happen if a girl goes like away from you and you get depressed, people will say like, where is the fucking positive in that? I'm like, dude, after 2 or 3 months, you will become even more confident and more grounded because you've been through this chaos. And your next relationship is going to be better because you're grounded and you tend to naturally not care so much about it working, which is going to make it work.
Right.
That's the thing. The bird will come back when you don't need it to come back.
Right. Yeah. Again,
it's hard. It's like it involves that being and not being, and it involves again the child and the alpha male. It's like
and I think these are very advanced goals too. Like I think if you're first starting out, like you shouldn't even worry about this. You should just worry on your success. But if you've been in this for a year or two and you're trying to look for a different style of relationship or whatnot, and still help grow, because a lot of guys, you know, that's the fallacy too, is they just go with the first girl and stop their growth, you know. And being successful with women, it forces you to grow, you know. To gain confidence, you continually need to grow. To be a stronger man, you continually need to grow and go through bullshit. But as long as you keep your head on straight and you have good resources, like again, Osho is like he has a book called Emotions, and he has one chapter all on jealousy, and he talks about how jealousy is possessiveness, and he's like, jealousy is there when there's no love. And he's like, if there's always sex in the relationship, there's going to be jealousy. Well, how do you get rid of it? Turn sex into love and love that person. And when you love that person, it doesn't matter who they're happy with, as long as they're happy. And if you say go, like they'll come back, because someone who's like, I want you to be happy, go do you, is always going to come back to you, because you are giving so much value. Everyone else is trying to lock you down and cage you in. They're trying to take that bird and put it in a cage that they're like, I feel so free around you, I never want to leave, because I feel comfortable that if I need to.
Exactly. Great. I was going to say it's even better even if they leave, it's even better because then they go with someone else and they realize the big thing.
Right.
Because no one else, I really have a hard time in my life. I think I only know 2 people who have this mentality where like, look, if you want to be with someone else, I really wish you to be so. As long as you're happy, I'm happy, and don't worry about me. Like I'm gonna get depressed for 2-3 days. I love you, but then it's all right. You know, it's like it's not the end of the world, and that's what makes you so attractive. You know, that's what makes you so attractive.
Because you've handled your own happiness too. Like, the person is gonna have a certain effect on your happiness. They're gonna have a connection. Like you said, I'm gonna be sad for a bit, but I'm a strong enough person to know that I can get over it and find someone else. Like, that's okay. And my happiness is good. So it's not the end of the world, because everyone's afraid of those emotions. Like, oh my gosh, it's the end, da-da-da. It's like, dude, you can get through that. And honestly, this is kind of double-sided. Breakups, like my breakups have been I've had the biggest growth through breakups. They've been the most painful things ever. They've been the nastiest bitch motherfucker feelings I've ever felt. But they've forced me to grow so much exponentially that it's almost been worth it. Like, it's almost been worth the breakup.
Oh yeah, totally. I was like in love with this girl for 5 years. 5 years, and I've been on and off with her. And every time like she breaks up with me, and I would get depressed and everything. But every time then she kind of sees me randomly after 2-3 months. She's like, "Whoa, you changed." And then we get back together for 2-3 weeks, and then she's like, "Well, you did not change that much." And then like she breaks up with me, and that was for 5 years until like at some point, you know, we were really like feeling it. She liked me so much, but now because I reached that point, that means I reached the point where I don't care about it working so much.
Right.
It will only work when you don't really need it to work so much. And that's the problem that most guys cannot understand when they try to start their journey. It will only work when you stop trying. That's the thing. If you don't try, it will never work. Because some guys will be like, oh, well, then I don't have to do anything. Why would I do it? No, you have to try to figure out that you have to not try.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you don't try, it's a form of trying, because you're not trying for the sake of making it work, which is trying.
Yeah.
And then when you get depressed and confused and like, what the fuck, I cannot, this is being and not being at the same time, and then you all of a sudden clicks, you're it.
Yeah.
That's what Soho or Social or the guy you were mentioning, the spiritual guy.
Oh, Osho, yeah.
Osho, yeah.
Yeah.
Osho.
One point he talked about too was, you know, and kind of what you said too is like a lot of people don't know what love is. A lot of love comes from pride, you know, and I've even looked back on some of my relationships and I was like, dude, there was a lot of pride there, you know, and it's, you almost view like people fall in love for that sense of title. Like, this is my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend. I have that label. I have that sense of status now. I'm a guy who has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So I'm good, you know, and they're more so worried about their social status of what people think of them. Like, oh, he's a man who has a hot girlfriend. Rather than like, do you love this girl? Is this the right one for you? Like, you know, how do you guys work together? What happens when things go wrong? How do you guys handle fights? You know, and they don't really think about that shit. They want the title. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to just touch base really quickly on, because we've been talking about relationships a lot, and I think a lot of guys maybe are not in the relationship, so they might be thinking like, how do I be this childish alpha male, like the alpha and the not so alpha guy in approaching, for example, like when you're going to approach a girl. Well, like think about a child, how a child would act, but also try to put the alpha male with the child. Like, it's, again, when you approach and talk to a girl, try to care about her and care like about making it work, but also genuinely not give a fuck, because if you do care so much about making the approach work, it's just gonna be so much burden for her, you know. She doesn't know you after all. She doesn't owe you anything, and if you come in with so much expectations and you're like, gotta make this work, buddy, it's so much for her. She won't be able to handle it. But if you walk up to her and be like, hello, how are you? Do you see me?
Yeah.
I just think you're attractive. Do you think I'm attractive? Like, you see like that little childish vibe, but it's still alpha male. You're not like, oh hello, how are you? No, you're still like holding your position. You're telling basically, and I like that question when you just look up to a guy and be like, so do you think I'm just attractive or not?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you have that little smirky smile, because that's a perfect example of childish alpha male. Child will do things that others will think they're a little extreme and maybe risky, you know, but then the alpha male makes it sound like it's not such a big deal, you know.
It's a little bit more grounded. It's grounded, and so you're like,
You find out the girl will most often start laughing when you say that, because she's thinking subconsciously, how can he get away with such a big question, and he doesn't make it feel big, because usually when the girl knows when she's about to get in a relationship with a nice guy, he's holding back from answering. So, do you love me?
Right.
You know, but the alpha male is like, from first second, can I ask you a quick question? Yeah. She's like, sure. So do you find me attractive?
Yeah.
You know, and you're like that little cheeky smile that he doesn't care so much. It's awesome. Like, it's honestly awesome, and that makes you also think about it. The reason why we approach women and then go on a date with them, and a second date, and try to kiss them and try to have sex with them, is to ultimately answer that question: does she find me attractive the way I find her attractive?
Right.
Because you're like, okay, are we gonna have sex? Are we gonna kiss the next date? Oh, if I hold her hand, is she gonna hold my hand?
Yeah.
So by being a child, it's like you cut through the bullshit. You're like, come here. And the other part of you not caring so much makes it feel okay. It's not a big deal if you say no.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna be smiling, and you're gonna just have a funny story to tell your friends. Now, does this always work? Because I know like most guys will be like, oh, I'm really curious to see how this guy is like foolproof or like bulletproof, you know? No, like, you're still a human, and it's not like every girl will be like, oh, he's a childish alpha male, gotta suck his dick. No.
Right.
But that you have to accept it. That's part of life. There are days that are good, there are days not good, and ultimately, the more you progress into this, the more you will embody it, the less you will care or give a fuck, but you still have good intentions toward people, and that's it.
Right. Dude, that's awesome, and appreciate you sharing with us. Where can people reach you if they want to check out more of your content?
You can check out my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Right now, I just started recently. I don't have much subscribers, but yeah,
Okay.
feel free. I have like 11 videos at the time we're
Yeah.
talking, and I'll be uploading more videos for
Cool.
sure.
Yeah, yeah, I'll put a link on this video too, and dude, I can't wait for you to come up to Seattle so we can fucking crush it together. So
Yeah, that would be really fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Yeah.
All right, man. It was good talking to you. Take care.
Because it's Ricky.
Peace.
Peace.